Behind the Roar, the official podcast of West Tigers.
Well, hello and welcome to episode 51 of Behind the Roar, the official podcast of West Tigers, where we give it to you straight and we learn more about the people and the stories behind this great club. BTR, of course, is proudly sponsored by PWA, and that is Pro Wrestling Australia. Well, this week's guest is a highly regarded sports administrator. He was the Chief Executive Officer of the Central Coast Mariners, and that was for the past 9 years. He has previously worked in the NRL, spent time at both Penrith Panthers and South Sydney Rabbitohs. He was recently appointed to the position of General Manager, Community Foundation and Affiliates here at West Tigers, and his work will play, a huge role in West Tigers' strategic plan going forward, where we will be placing a big emphasis on community, obviously, but more specifically, our increased presence in the southwest of Sydney. We are yet to officially launch our new community program, which has been branded West Tigers Empower. Welcome to Behind the Roar, Shaun Mielekamp. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Cheers. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for jumping in. It's a little bit different. We're going a little bit left field here. I just thought it was an appropriate time. We will be officially launching the new community program in a few weeks. Lots planned for that, a number of community road shows. So just away from what we've got on the field at the moment, I thought it would be interesting for our fans to learn a bit more about you and a bit more about what we've got planned going forward. You've been here for a couple of months. How have you found the joint?
Yeah, it's fantastic. The induction and the warm nature of the staff and everybody has been fantastic. In fact, my very first shift, I came in early because new guy, you want to be in early. Didn't have a swipe card to get in, but the first person that I met was Benji, and the first thing he said, "Oh, Shaun, first day, come and let me get you coffee." So to have that as a memory and as a moment, as your first day on the job at the club, says a lot about the culture and how fantastic this place really is.
Where's my coffee bags? I'm still waiting for that one.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. What do you think? And you've been at a number of sports organisations. What do you think would be the biggest asset? And this is not a job interview, by the way. You've got the job. What would be the biggest asset that you think your experience brings to the table here?
Yeah, I think I've had a variety of roles, and in my time in all those roles, I've covered just about every position that a sports administrator can cover, and so this is new for me, this part, working in the community space. So I'm super excited about that. But I think it's just the vast range of experience and background that I've had in two different codes, in 5 different clubs. This is really exciting, and hopefully I can really make a difference.
We'll dive into that because I want to learn more about that experience in the A-League. So you were with the Wanderers, and then we know what a great job you did at the Mariners. Very highly regarded up there, and I know you're living on the Central Coast, but I guess some similarities can be drawn. They were struggling performance-wise for a number of years, weren't they? I think they were at the basement for a while, and it took a while to claw their way back. And a lot of that growth was driven by community work, which influenced and impacted on team performance, right? And then eventually they won the championship.
Yeah, that was at the core of the business model for us, is being a community club. Over the 9 years that I was there, we had 4 wooden spoons in 5 years, and that other year was second last, I think third last.
Yeah.
So we had a really long, sustained, very, very tough time where everybody was getting disenchanted in the club, in the brand, and what we're doing. But we genuinely believed on where we were, and I suppose that's been the real emotional part about the Central Coast Mariners, has been that journey that everybody up there has gone through after all that time, and to be now leading the league and breaking all the records is a phenomenal effort in sport in general, and it was really amazing. Yeah,
And that club, the Mariners, and it had a lot of success previously, hadn't it? Under the years of Graham Arnold, the formative years almost of that club. It won silverware, so then it went through a dip, didn't it, before it rose again?
Absolutely, and the synergies here aren't lost to me at all. It was a big consideration for me to look to come here, but the club needed to refine itself. It needed to relearn those club values, that culture, the DNA of the club. Tough times really test you, and then you really find out what was there, and then once we rediscovered it and just continued to build, it was just every day was working hard, and now it just flows. It's just a machine that's rolling on.
Well, I can hear the excitement in your voice being here in a new landscape and a fresh challenge for you. Have you listened or watched to any of our previous episodes?
Yeah.
Be honest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've listened and watched them all. Yeah, that's right. So
good man. So you'll know how this works then, right? So we'll open up with a set of 6. All right, you can come off the back fence. We'll talk a little bit of footy, but obviously the accent or emphasis on this show, we're more talking about your plans for work that is off the field. And then at the back end of the episode, I was thinking, do we or do we not have the Turnbuckle Time? It's a quick quiz and normally footy focused, but I've thrown some questions in there. We're going to do it. Actually, it's a sponsorship requirement anyway, so there's no way out. We've got to do it, yeah. Thanks to PWA.
Good. Sounds like a good stitch up coming, so I'm looking forward to it.
You'll be fine. There's no step. Look, this isn't live, right? So we can always chop some stuff out if you're not happy.
Let it go live.
You can run some stuff past your lawyers if you want.
That's right.
And we'll. So we'll do that at the end, Turnbuckle Time. I will say, when I rattle through some club news, I want you to be super attentive because there might be some information in the club news that might be used later on, okay?
Right, sounds good.
Keep it up there. All right, well, let's open up then, shall we, with the opening set of 6. I normally go with the NRL players' debut and who was the captain and the coach and the referee. We won't worry about that with you, okay? It is the opening set of 6, okay, Shawnee? Let's talk a bit about your background firstly, where you grew up, your family, and how you sort of grew into sports administration.
Yeah, so I grew up out of Western Sydney, out of Colleton, and went to high school at Penrith High, and yeah, from a pretty young age, I needed to work and was working for Foot Locker, the retail chain, and so I ended up spending 12 years at Foot Locker and worked through a variety of stores in a number of states. And my last role, I was the national manager of Foot Locker in New Zealand. So I was fortunate enough to spend 2 years over looking after the whole country there, and lived in Auckland and spent plenty of time in Christchurch and Wellington over there, and it was over there that became a bit homesick and wanted to come back, but the time at Foot Locker really gave me that sort of grounding and that real connection with everybody. I suppose that was a big part of my development was just selling shoes. Yeah,
selling shoes. I did it myself.
Yeah,
going through uni at Peter Wynn's school.
Yeah, there you go.
Wally Wynn, he very tight ass. You weren't allowed to let anyone leave the shop unless they bought something.
Yep.
But look, he's done some great work there. I digress, I often do. So apologies in advance for that. So from Foot Locker then, first gig in, I guess, a sports club. Where was that? Yeah,
so what had happened, I was in New Zealand and wanted to come home. My wife wanted to return home on the Central Coast, and we'd done sort of 2 years. So I'd actually come over for a boys' weekend and open up the Big League magazine, and there was an ad in there for a job at South Sydney Rabbitohs. Yeah. And I was only here for the weekend, so I came in on the Friday and picked up the phone.
What was the job?
The job was for a merchandise role at South Sydney Rabbitohs, and they described it as a bit broader and a bit bigger than just being a merchandise role. And my first thought is I didn't really think that anybody in the industry would be sort of tuned into big league, so this could be an opportunity. Picked up the phone, sent through my resume, got a call straight back and said, "Yeah, can you come in?" So I came in on sent in on the Friday. On the Saturday, I was at the old dilapidated leagues club that was there, and sort of looking around, going, "What's going on at this joint? This is a bit unique." And then straight away they said, "Look, you got to go meet Richo." And so that afternoon, I was at Richo's place in Coogee. And that 24, 48 hours had changed my life. Yeah, so that's exactly how quick it happened, because I needed to be back on the plane on Monday.
There you go.
And went back with the whole change of career.
That's a good yarn. So you've spent a fair bit of time with Richard. How long did you stay there at the Bunnies?
Yeah, just under 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was there for 2 seasons, and so it was. It was a really unique time. This was the time when Richo had to make the really hard call to move the club through to Homebush.
So what years were this?
I'd say 07, 08.
07, 08,
Yeah. So Peter Holmes of Court and Russell Crowe had just picked up the club, and this was the time my role was delivering the merchandise program. So the Black Rabbit, White Rabbit was on the Southside Story documentary that was there. Spent a lot of time working with Russell Crowe, and it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Johnny Suttons and David Kidwells that sort of came in, Nigel Wagner, the big change that happened in the club and the revolution that sort of come through. But at the whole time, working internally at the club was about how do we keep our rusted on supporters, really close. So that energy with the community to take the community and the members from the borough and all that through was evident right from the start and a big part of the club.
I'll break away a bit here and we'll dive back into the set of six, but if I can just continue with this a little bit. So Russell's a very hands-on player there in terms of creativity and thoughts around the Black Rabbit.
That's right.
And you were in charge of merchandise at that point, so you had a bit to do with the Gladiator.
Yeah, that's right. So plenty of late nights at his apartment there at the end of Woolloomooloo Wharf.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So almost crashed into John Laws in the car park one time. So,
Valvoline.
Know what I mean? The amazing stories are endless. You could go on forever, just on what sort of come through there, from creating the coat of arms to Armani suits that come through, and going to boxing matches and the Book of Feuds. We actually produced and published and sold the Book of Feuds that came through, and worked with Mark Courtney, the author, who wrote the Book of Feuds, a fantastic guy, and it was crazy, but there was so much passion and so much clarity about where they wanted to go, and the whole time Richo was at the helm of all that. And you look back now at what happened to South, and that was revolutionary for the NRL, not just for their club.
So how did you move into soccer? Take us through that.
Yeah, so from South, I went over to Penrith Panthers and spent five years over at Panthers, and probably. I was the guy that brought the Pink Panthers, to life. That was there, so that was probably my big moment.
Play Pink Panther music. We got any Pink Panther music? Oh, there it is.
So there it is. And I remember, presenting to the board, being real passionate about it, and then they wore it for the first time and got flogged by Manly, and Matty Elliott swore to me that we'll never wear pink again, and it took me 12 months to reconvince him that this is bigger than that one match, and to see them still wear pink today is pretty special. And then so 2 years in, I came along with Phil Gould. So Gus come along. Me and Gus are good friends, good mates, and learn a heck of a lot off Gus. That was there, and I suppose fundamentally we had a different viewpoint. He was more focused on footy, and I was more focused on community at the time, and through a chance meeting with Laurie McKinnon, was introduced through to Lyle Gorman, who was building the club there at Western Sydney Wanderers, and when they told me about the club, about the impact that they wanted to have on Western Sydney, and to be integrated into the community, whilst I wasn't a soccer person, rugby league was in my DNA, my whole upbringing. This was an opportunity I couldn't miss, and I remember very clearly coming home to the wife and saying I'm going to make a shift to the A-League, and she couldn't believe. She thought I was pretty nuts at the time, but jumping across to Western Sydney Wanderers was amazing to continue to expand my career, and the scenes that the RBB did through those years, and the connection with the community was just phenomenal, and forever a special part.
Some challenging times too. With the and when we went through all the RBB and the flares and all that sort of stuff. But see, Lyle Gorman, did he go from the Wanderers to Sharks, or Sharks?
No, from the Wanderers to Sharks. Of course, yeah. Yeah, so and Lyle was actually at the Central Coast Mariners in their first years.
Right. Yeah. So 9 years at the Mariners, and as I said, a club that you were there during that time, the evolution from the basement to the penthouse. What capacity were you when you started there?
Yeah, so I went straight in as CEO.
Tackle 5, by the way.
Yeah, so Central Coast Mariners were doing it really tough. Financially, on and off the field, it was pretty bad, and all the signs were pretty bleak. That there was only one outcome for the club, and that was to look to close the doors. And whilst I was living up at Central Coast, all the friends and family were Mariners fans, and it was a daunting time for the club. And when they reached out to me, they found out that I was living there. They wanted me to come and help. It was a challenge that I just needed to do, for my community that I was living with up there, and because there was no way that you really should have considered taking the role at the time. We're the club that was totally under-resourced, totally underperforming, and in a pretty crazy place. But when so I went straight in as CEO, and so to take that challenge on was it was pretty daunting, because the Western Sydney Wanderers were such a successful club at the time. We just won the Asian Champions League, and just travelled all the way around the world, and to look at a club and to start it from scratch was daunting. But had a crack at it, and we got there, I suppose.
Away from footy, Shaun, what are your interests? Family?
Yeah. So I got 4 boys. So youngest.
What ages are they?
Yeah, youngest is 7, oldest is 16, and 11 and 13 in the middle. So so the household is full of wrestles and noise and mess. And so my apologies to my wife who's listening about the challenging time she has with the house of the kids. But so that does really drive things. I play a big part in my local soccer club that's up there. So I'm normally up on the barbecues, helping out where I can.
The boys play soccer?
So yeah. So they all play, and then outside of that, I don't mind getting into some craft beers. So I do a bit, with.
You brew your own or not?
Don't brew my own, but I do do a few beer tours and do some stuff in that. So work with a few local breweries, and just a bit of a side hobby.
What's
and a
up
passion.
there? What's Singo's Blue Tongue? Is it up there?
Yeah, no, that's folded. That's gone.
Gone?
Yeah. That one's gone. So
Someone drunk it out of house and home. Listen, we're going to throw in it's a 7-tackle set, if you don't mind. Yep. I want you to give me 2 truths and 1 lie, and I've got to pick the lie. Okay.
You got to pick the lie. Okay. All right. Cool. So I'll start off with when I was between 18 and 20, I had to live in a caravan that cost $800. I had a running race with Usain Bolt, and he let me win. And my third one is I've drunk some beers with Kenny Sutcliffe in the Australian consulate in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Oh, gee. Well, you couldn't come up with that with Kenny, with the male model from Mudgee, if it's a lie, in Saudi Arabia. The first 2 were actually correct. You did, and that caravan, I can picture you in it. That was true. Usain actually did let you beat him, and that was at their Central Coast Stadium. I don't think you had those beers with Kenny.
Yeah, well, no, actually, Usain Bolt didn't let me beat him.
Oh, so you did have the beers with Kenny.
So I did have beers with Kenny. So yeah. After the Wanderers won the Asian Champions League, we had to haul ass back to the Australian consulate, and we were under strict instructions not to drink. But
well, there you go.
But we had a good time.
Kenny in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Wow, the male model from
Mudgee.
Yeah. Thinking of another place in Saudi that starts with an M, and I can't think of any. We'll come back to that. Well, that's interesting.
Pro Wrestling Australia is back in the heart of the Sydney CBD. Live June 14th at the Metro Theatre with the return of the King of the Metro 30-person Rumble match. Get your tickets now at Ticketek.
Let's dive into some club news. I want to talk more about the community program, right? That's sort of the nuts and bolts, but I'll just rattle through some club news. A lot happening around the club. Now, a tough weekend in Tamworth for us. A big crowd, though. Wet conditions. Scully Park again sold out. So that's 4 home games we've had now and 4 sellouts, which is great to see. Sadly, 2014 loss to the Knights, that tried just before halftime. Then there was another one just after halftime, and we failed to really sort of get back into that or regain the momentum. Jeroen was sent to the sin bin as well. Johnny Bateman, we lost him. He didn't come back in the second half. So there's a fair few reasons behind it. The match didn't get away from us, and I think that's one thing we can say about every game this year, that the boys will just keep fighting, and I'm sure that will happen again this weekend. So it is Magic Round. We're off to Suncorp Stadium. We're playing on the Sunday. So this will be the second time, believe it or not, just as fate would happen, that we play the Dolphins at Suncorp Stadium. Look, in terms of team news, Isaiah Papali'i, he's been banned. He's accepted that early guilty plea for for the trip, so he'll sit out 1 game suspension. Johnny Bateman, he has got a pec injury. He will miss this week. The longer-term future, not quite sure at this point in time with Johnny. Stafford Toa, he's also facing an extended stint on the sideline. He's just come back from like 8 weeks out after he had that ankle injury. So our thoughts are with Starry, and I know he will bounce back. So a few changes then to Benji's team for the match against the Dolphins. Well done, Sione Fainu. So he's going to make his NRL debut, 22 years of age. He joined us here at West Tigers, I think it was midway through the 2022 season. He's played all basically in New South Wales Cup. So really delighted for Sione. He's worked so hard for this, particularly in the last off-season. He got his body into really good shape. So he joins his younger brothers who have also made their West Tigers debut in Latu and also Samuela. So good luck to you, Sione. Now, Asu Kapoa, he'll come back into the side too, into the pack, and then coming into the back line then for Stafford Toa, we will see Solomon Aliamalu come back onto that wing, and he of course made his debut against the Broncos a few weeks ago. Now last Sunday, 2 really good results against the Knights. That was both the New South Wales Cup and the Jersey Flegg. They both won their games at Lidcombe Oval. The Cup won 24-10, Flegg was 26-16. And they are now 3rd on the ladder, the Jersey Flegg team, 7 wins and 3 losses. So weekend off this weekend for all of the Jersey Flegg. But in New South Wales Cup, I guess they've got their own, type of magic round. It's at North Sydney Oval. So all the games will be played there over Saturday and on Sunday. We're up against the Eels on Sunday. That's at an 11 a.m. start at North Sydney Oval. As I said, all the other games are there as well. 3 games Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. Now, before Magic Round kicks off, on Thursday at Suncorp Stadium, we have the first of the Women's State of Origin Series, the Ampol Women's State of Origin Series. This year, it's the first time we had got a 3-game series. And so we wish our 2 West Tigers NRLW players, Kezi Apps and Salah Togatuki, all the best of luck, girls. Go out and get those dirty maroons. That's on Thursday against Queensland. Now, congrats also to our under-18s Cubs. On their performance last weekend in Tamworth. They beat the Knights 30 points to 4. It was really close at half time. But I also want to say a big thank you to our Cubs. And Shaun, you'll probably join me in this. For so much of the community work that they did while they were there in Tamworth. The boys, they loved it. Never was there a moan from any of them. They got out there with the schools and all the clinics we held. So well done, fellas. Really appreciate that. And you can attest to that, Shawnee.
Absolutely. They were fantastic. They were fantastic. We got to over 1,000 kids that were out there, and the Cubs were tremendous, running the clinics and being part of it. And even on the match day themselves, the way that they held themselves and represented our club was simply fantastic.
Yeah. All righty, Shaun, let's dive into a bit more, deeper dive into the community program and what you are charged with running here. It is branded West Tigers Empower. We are throwing a lot of resources behind this, rightly so. Tell us firstly how it is structured and how past players and also the West Tigers Foundation will play such a key role in this.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges for any club or any organisation looking to make a difference in the community is how to fund this. It means so much. It makes so much of a difference. It can make real social impact and change. But the funding and the structure behind it becomes integral to the success. So ultimately, the model that we've built really starts with our past players, our alumni. And when we say affiliates, we're talking about whether it's government or political leaders or business leaders, those people of influence, and our alumni, reconnecting with them and making sure that they're really aware of this and how they can make a difference, helps us grow that next pillar that we talk about, which is the foundation itself. So through philanthropic donations and through some corporate support, this is where we'll generate the funds and resources to make a true difference that comes through. So those two work hand in hand. They are really representative of what's needed to funnel and fuel our community program, getting into schools and making a true difference.
So funding, but also that wealth of experience and networking with that group of past players. And we've seen with the launch of the the alumni, that they really want to make a difference. They want to get involved and they want a hands-on role, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So headed up by Paddy Richards, who I work with daily, is simply brilliant in this space. We're lucky enough that Scando's here in the building, so he definitely has a big input in this. But catching up with the likes of Chris Lawrence, who has a massive impact in this. Caught up with Owen Craigie down at the Campbelltown game, and speaking to these guys, they make a real difference in who we are as the Tigers and what does this really mean for us. So just speaking to them and allowing them to express themselves and be a part of us making a difference in the community. It's more than just finances and stuff. It's really about culture and opportunity.
It is so much more than going out to 100 schools and kicking a footy around. This is about making a real difference to our community, isn't it? A lasting difference that sort of reinforces everything we are about as a club and our core values. So what were some of the key elements of the work in the community? Healthy relationships?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at, programs that go into, with healthy relationships, school to work transition programs, leadership and ultimately empowerment, and really being inspirational to the kids coming through. We'll start with a 7-school pilot program through the remainder of this year. We need to know what we're doing. We need to really build this and with the aim to roll this out over 50 schools coming into next year. This is not just about winning the hearts and minds of the community. This is about making a genuine difference to people's lives. And ultimately, if we make the difference to one kid, one kid has a better journey because of the work that we've done, then this is all worth it. This is all worth everything that the club stands for. This is all worth everything that we believe in because that's real. That's a real difference, and that's why I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah, and we make no apology. It is loosely or more than loosely modelled on what the Bunnies have done. So if Souths cares, West Tigers empower.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk us through the logo, the branding, because it's not just a bit of paint slapped on a bit of paper. It's got real significance.
Yeah, and the first part that I really love about the logo is it came from internally from the club. So it wasn't just me or Richo or anyone else. This was a collaboration of I spoke to as many people internally as I could as we pieced this all together, and the architect in Josh Flood brought the imagery and the meaning to life, which is fantastic. So there are 3 tigers, and ultimately they represent naturally the family values. You can see the father figure and the nurturing parents over the community, but the tiger on the left represents the alumni. He's showing some teeth. He's got some strength. These are our champions that have represented our club. The second tiger is the foundation. This is the real heart of this, and leading over to the young cub at the front, which is the community, which is what we're here to build and look after, and the 3 of them forming a heart. I think it's a great iconic representation. And I think over time it'll mean so much more than just a picture of 3 tigers together in the shape of a heart. It'll actually it'll mean all the stories and all the impact that we've done in the community and genuinely trying to make a difference in people's lives.
Well, there you are. There's the logo, right? So there's a sneak peek at it, and I think it did appear in the Australian Financial Review recently as part of our strategic plan. But we will launch in a few weeks the nuts and bolts to the community program. When you joined us, and I've got it in front of you, you said, look, I've always been passionate about how sporting clubs can be a catalyst for positive change and social impact. So, and this is a mission that is really close to your heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why? Why are you so curious? We all want to be good people, right? But you're very, very passionate about this space that you're in.
Yeah, whether it's my own personal journey or the journeys that I've been on through, the power of sport, in particular in Australian culture, is unprecedented, and the ability for us to inspire young people who are going to lead the country, who are going to lead the community, who are going to make real difference in the future, and we should be doing everything that we can to help guide them and to empower them to be the best that they can be. And sport and rugby league and NRL in particular does this like no other. This is, it doesn't matter where you come from, whether there's no boundaries to the impact that this can make.
It's tribal, isn't it? And I look around a stadium, whether it be at Campbelltown Stadium, Leichhardt, or wherever we might be playing at our home ground. And let's say there's 15,000 in there. I've got no idea who that chap over there in Bay 13 in seat C4 is. He doesn't know who I am. I'm on the other side of the ground. Yet all of us in that same stadium, we are united by this.
Yeah.
That commonality, that single. It's really powerful, isn't it? And you talked about some of those younger people, the leaders of the future. Some of those younger people could really be making wrong decisions and heading down the wrong path.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what you need to identify as well.
Yeah, definitely. And everybody at the club, has a story. All the players in both the men's and the women's squad, and these stories and this experience can be passed down and can lead in a real productive and positive way. So, there's no boundaries to what can be achieved.
I should also say, and Shaun's had a lot of experience with the Mariners and also with the Wanderers in terms of the match day vibe, the match day package, the match day experience, and how we can help that reinforce all the other work we do. And we're looking at that space, and we'll have some exciting things, I think, hopefully coming out of some discussions with our fans and members as well, to really empower our own crowd, if you like, to maximise how we can help our team on match day.
Absolutely. We're all part of the one family, right? So it doesn't matter if you're a fan, if you're an administrator, if you're a player, if you're part of a community program, or wherever you are, we are actually all part of the family. So we are all wanting the same outcome that comes here. And so the ability of the Tigers to bring everybody together and to allow everybody to play their part, it's ultimately it all comes down to how can we all help, get the extra points on the field on the weekend. So, yeah.
Tell me, Shaun, how can the general fan might be listening or watching our podcast? How can they get involved in our community program?
Yeah, I think it's really important that everybody understands what we are doing. So listening and engaging as you see some bits coming through from social media, and if you see the Tigers doing some good out there, spread the word and get it out there, because the energy of positivity and the energy of making a difference will make a big difference in this club. It might feel strange for everybody right now, but over time, as you keep driving, you keep positive momentum going through this, before you know it, we're chanting at the right time at the stadium. We're collectively in an initiative and a momentum and a movement that becomes unstoppable. So through this journey, I really hope that all fans see that this club is more than just what happens in the 80 minutes on the pitch. It's more than just the win and the loss. But if we are all supporting the club and we're supporting about making a true difference to our region, then that becomes unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, most people, we're all judged on wins and losses. What happens on that rectangular field that's 100 metres by 68, whatever it might be. But so much good work is done in the community that people may not even know about, right? That on field and off field all contribute to building this brand.
Absolutely. And when the players really start to feel that they're playing for a club that is really special and making a difference, and they're playing for those that are in there cheering them on, and they're playing for the community, and they know that that adds more fuel to the fire, then they play their part. And it may seem a little, sort of holistic, but it is a really important message to get out there that we're all part of the Tigers family. We're all together as one, and the more that everyone can buy in and keep moving forward is the fastest way for us to get to where we want to be.
And I will say, give our membership a plug again here. That's one way to buy in and become part of the family, right? Cost you as little as $75. This is not about selling membership. What we're talking,
but that's the point. I think that's the point. So becoming a member isn't just about buying a ticket. Do you get a hat or do you get a lanyard? Yeah, it's the emotional investment to be able to say, hey, I'm actually part of something bigger. Yeah, that's there. That's why you become a member.
Yeah, well said.
Pro Wrestling Australia is back in the heart of the Sydney CBD. Live June 14th at the Metro Theatre with the return of the King of the Metro 30-person Rumble match. Get your tickets now at Ticketek.
Mate, you know what time it is?
Yeah.
Have a look at the clock up there, and that is telling me, Shawnee, that is telling me it is Turnbuckle time.
All right, here we go. I'll tell you what, that rant you had with the updated news, I was trying to take notes. That was impossible. You were flying.
It's a fair bit. Sorry. Was I going a bit too quick, was I?
It's all good.
All good. Right, I will climb up on the ropes, up top rope, up there on that turnbuckle.
Right,
Okay, we're going to launch you off. Okay, what is it, a frog splash? Is that what it's called? Something like that. Righto. Okay, we're up against the clock. Now, there's 6 questions. Each question is worth 4 points. 6 times 4 is?
24.
Okay, we'll then give you a bonus point. So maximum score is 25, okay?
No one's got the 25 yet, have they?
Not really.
Not really, okay.
No, I won't go through
I'm
all that
not going to
again.
get it, but anyway.
Oh, there is one, but I don't want to mention his name again. There's going to be an appeal at the end. There's a car to be won. The little we haven't got a donor yet for the car.
Okay.
Right, but there is a car to be won. Anyone out there? By the way, can I just give a plug to the boys out there at Kenny Sutcliffe Auto? Do you remember we had Fanua Pole in here and his car was all banged up and his bumper bar was hanging off. He'd been in a prang and it was put together with duct tape. Bryson and the team out there at Ken Sutcliffe, they rang me up that night. Get him in here. We'll sort him out.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
Fanua is now got rid of the duct tape.
That's fantastic, and yeah, absolutely worth giving the guys out there at Schaefer a huge plug. The Campbelltown office, which I'm out there pretty frequently, is a real big part of our community strategy, and none of that happens without those guys. So it's definitely worth giving them
Thanks,
a good plug.
boys. Really appreciate it. I know Fanua does as well. Righto. Okay. Question 1. You ready?
Yeah.
Got the clock started? Let's go. Which country did we borrow the idea of Magic Round from? Was it England, France, or Italy?
No idea, so I'll just take a punt at Italy.
Serious?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Wow. Oh, Shawnee, it was England. Okay. They had they had their first Magic weekend. It was in Cardiff,
There
Wales,
you go.
at Millennium Stadium in
I just
2007.
figured nothing magic happens over there. It's too bloody
That's when
cold.
they brought it in. We copied them. We
there you
copied
go.
them. It's probably the only thing we've copied off them.
Okay.
I was there at the very first Magic weekend at Millennium Stadium, 07. I thought you'd get that one.
No idea.
Righto. Who did West Tigers play and beat last year in Magic Round?
God, my head was in a totally different space. Play and beat last year in Magic Round. I don't know. It's probably just the Dragons. I'll give
It
them.
was the Dragons.
There we
You
go.
pulled
There we
that out of
go.
your
There you go.
backside.
There
It
you go.
was the Dragons.
There you go. Did pull it out.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. You're 4 out of a possible 8. I don't suppose you remember the score. We won by 18-16.
There you go. Yeah, 18-16. Yeah, big
Bullshit. I remember, and left corner would have been northeastern corner. Do you remember that try-saving tackle, Jareen Buller, on Michaela Ravalawa? Do you remember that? You won't remember. We were there. It was just something special. Righto, still with that. You're on, what's he on? 4 points. Can you name the current West Tigers player who scored 2 tries for the Dragons in that game?
Oh, to be honest, I got nothing on you there. I got nothing. I'm gonna just have to.
I'll give you another clue. Okay, so he's joined us, obviously, from the Dragons.
Okay, so Bud Sullivan. There you
Well
go.
done. Well
Yeah,
done. He's
appreciate
got that. Righto, so what's that on? 8 points. All right, going okay. I thought you'd get question 1 for sure. I lived over there for 10 years, so maybe I'm a bit too much in that space.
I'll see you over another club, mate. My head was in a different space.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm sure you were. It was. Question 4. West Tigers jersey flag team is first, second, or third on the ladder?
They're coming first, aren't they? They should be. Great team.
I said this in the club news.
Oh, yeah, with 1,000 other results flying through.
Oh, they are third. They are
Yeah.
equal with the Bulldogs on 14 points with 7 wins.
Oh, I thought you said where they're going to finish the year.
No, you didn't. Okay. You stay on 8 points.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's
Question
all I must
number
stay there.
5. Api Coruscant will play his 150th, 200th, or 250th game on Sunday.
Yeah, 200th up there wearing the Indigenous jersey. And Is that right?
Indigenous jersey we're wearing against the Cowboys. So it is this Sunday. It is 200.
Oh, there we go. Indigenous. Sorry.
Following week. But you're right. You got that. Give him that.
Yeah,
But
there
good
we go.
plug for the Indigenous jersey.
Yes.
It looks good, huh?
I was just trying to sneak that in there.
Thank you. So I knew
yeah,
there was a way to
fantastic.
have a
So,
look at it. Check on our socials and the website.
We're doing an auction, raising funds for the West Tigers in Power and some other good charities.
So those jerseys will be worn against the Cowboys in Townsville in a couple of weeks, and we will be auctioning them off afterwards, right? Okay, so keep a watch on this space, and we'll be doing a fair bit of stuff leading into that Cowboys game. You're on 12 points. Okay, 12 points. Righto, you ready? You ready for this? Question 6. Usain Bolt, who played a couple of preseason games, I think, with A-League games with the Mariners in, I think it was 2018, was it?
Yep.
It was while you were there. How many Olympic gold medals did the Jamaican sprinter win?
Oh, I was hoping you're gonna ask me the time that he ran for his world record, but how many Olympic gold did he have?
He would have written press releases, wouldn't you? Oh, yeah, your media man doing all that stuff for you.
But it was. I've got to take a guess.
Quite a few.
Got to take a guess. I don't know. I'm gonna go 6.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Terrible.
8
8 Olympic gold medals.
8.
8 Olympic
There you
gold
go.
medals. He stays on what? 12 points.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is the bonus point. I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you not one bonus point if you get this. I'm going to give you 10.
Okay, all right.
This could take you to 22 points and be almost in the outright lead of the competition on the ladder.
I don't deserve it, but anyway.
You don't, but I'm going to let you, okay?
All right.
So on the back of the Usain Bolt question, can you name another former Olympic sprinter who has played with the Tigers? Yeah, that's why I've given you 10 points. It's a bit tricky.
Olympic sprinter played with the Tigers.
Aussie.
Oh, okay. Oh, that rules out. Olympic sprinter. Well,
I think there's a golfer with the same name.
did Matt Shevington never?
No.
Show I didn't get it.
No, he didn't.
He didn't play.
No, he didn't.
It's got to be pretty obscure. It's not
Yeah.
Grant Kremer.
No,
He never played NRL?
Yeah, no.
I can't think of who else would have.
Well, I didn't say NRL. I think he only played reserve grade.
Okay.
I don't know that he played NRL with us. I think it was in Alan Jones' time here and around 1990 or 91.
Well, it would have been worth 10 points.
Yeah, I know. I think he played reserve grade only. I should probably check my facts. Darren Clark.
Ah, there you go.
4th place in 2 consecutive Olympics in Los Angeles in 84 and Seoul in 88. He was at Balmain.
There you go.
At the time, he was labelled the fastest white man alive over the 400.
Fantastic.
Sorry about that.
That's all right, mate.
I feel a bit mean now.
To be honest.
Yeah. Anyway, look, you've ended up with, 12 points. That's not bad. I mean, that's mid-table.
Needed a bit of help, but you got me there.
That's mid-table, Shawnee. Mate, well done. Thanks for diving in and having a chat. I hope our listeners and viewers found that interesting and insightful, really, because so much does go on in the community space and a lot more will be happening. Not to say our community department hasn't been doing a ton of great work in recent years, and that'll continue, but it's probably just taking a new direction. Yeah,
for sure. Absolutely. And I think, one of the things that really, one of the main questions I've had has been why the West Tigers? Why for me in this time of my career
why?
To come to the West Tigers? And it's a question I'm really passionate to answer. So from way back in my time at Footlock, I've worked all through Western Sydney, from Penrith to Parramatta, Burwood, Auburn, Bankstown, Roselands, and really, have a personal connection with the whole of Western Sydney. And there's only one NRL club that can speak to the entire of Western Sydney, and that's the West Tigers. So no other club can do what this club can do. No other club can have the reach and the conversation with such a massive community.
Huge footprint.
and that's our opportunity. That's our opportunity, and when this came up, there was no way I was going to miss it. So it's that's probably what I'll sort of look to sort of finish off on and sign off on, and thank everyone for allowing me to be part of this fantastic club, and hopefully over time I can really make a massive difference.
Welcome to the club. It's great having you here, and to our listeners, our members, our viewers, our fans, our supporters far and wide, come on the journey. Come on the journey. I think it's going to be really, really exciting. In the more immediate term, good luck to our boys on Sunday against the Dolphins at Suncorp Stadium. New South Wales Cup, as I said, they're playing at North Sydney Oval this weekend. And again, good luck to Kezi and Sulla, who will be representing the Blues in Women's State of Origin Game 1 on Thursday. We'll do it all again next week, and next week leading into that Indigenous round, it'll obviously have an Indigenous theme to Behind the Roar. Until then, take care. See you soon.
Behind the Roar, the official podcast of West Tigers.